What's going on, everybody? So, yeah, it's... Excuse me. Jeez, oh man. Tuesday, January 7th. It's, really snowy. And I was gonna go and stream about something maybe a little bit different than I normally do. Well, this is music theory, right? But concepts in this case are going to be vastly different than what I've done in the past. We're just going to focus on writing some music together. And the idea that I'm going to show everybody a very quick way to learn a songwriting theory. Okay, now this is a far-fetched one. Not far-fetched. I've been learning a lot online, and I've been studying with a lot of things. And I believe this one is called Modal interchange is the word. And I'm going to do it as easy as I can. And it's probably not going to work, but we're going to try it. And then and this will like show everybody how I actually write theory chords, maybe like the idea behind how I get a song written. So if we pick a key and we say F, G, A, B flat, F, so there's our F major. And then we pick another key, okay? It doesn't matter what key. This is kind of what makes it crazy. So if we were playing an F, basically what you got, F, right? So it's G minor, A minor, B flat major, C major, D minor, E diminished, which I love that chord. Okay, and then F. So those are your 7 chords, all right? And that's just like the basic building blocks if we're writing. It's gonna sound like that, right? So, and if you're daunted by this one, you'll get used to it. It takes a minute, right? And then we think to ourselves, well, how do we write music with chords with this modal interchange? Well, instead of only having these chords to pick from, sometimes people wonder, well, how do you have more? And I'm going to write out my numerals just so we have them, so I know the chord numbers. And this makes it easy for anybody who hasn't been playing music for a while. You know what I mean? So I just write where my 11 and 13s are. And then I do Roman numerals. So we're thinking of chord theory blocks and what's major and minor There's our diminished, right? So really quickly, the theory that I do all the time, right? And the modal interchange, the concept is I need another scale, another key besides just F major. And like, say I was like thinking in my head that if I wanted to pick any other flat key or key with flats in it, say if I'm playing F, I play my 4 chord. Oh, excuse me. And then all of a sudden, if I'd consider this B flat major, in the middle of this, I would play this chord, which I like it already. Okay, so I'm going to make a choice here. I'm going to write, the next key that I'm going to write underneath this, and this might surprise everybody, is E flat major. Right, so E flat has A flat, B flat, and E flat. So it would be F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, F. Yeah, that's what this would look like if we were in the key of, what's that? E flat major, right? All right, so how this works out is when you do modal interchange, the chords that could hypothetically be strange would be like a couple places. And that means as we play our progression or our thoughts, if I'm playing the regular scale pattern, right, and we're just staying in that key, all of a sudden I could do that. Did you hear that? Because that's A flat. Not A flat, that's actually, yeah, it is. You see that? Instead of, so this is where people come up with these weird ideas that interplay two modes. I just did it in front of your face. It's crazy how cool that sounded, because you're always looking for like, well, how does Radiohead write this really cool thing? And how does, you know, Stevie Wonder write this really cool thing? Because he pulls a chord from somewhere that you don't know, like, how that happened, right? So in the middle of playing a progression, it's tension resolution is the idea. If we wanted to tension resolve, there's like a 2, 3, 1. Okay, well, why do I pick that? Because it's like a frantic resolution. You know, these chords don't feel like they resolve sometimes. And then you hit this, and you feel like you land home. You have some resolution, right? So if we're playing these progressions, you're like thinking, oh, sorry. Wait, we're doing, yeah, 2. Because it lands somewhere. You know, and all of a sudden, if I did this, so did you see what I just did? That's modal interchange, right? I threw a chord in there. And I just went right back into that key. But how cool does that sound? It's perfect, you know, that's modal interchange. So what we did is in the change there, I did a 3, but I did it flat. You know what I mean? Such a cool idea, right? Instead of playing this chord, I did flat, and then I did my 2 chord, and then I did 1. So like I did the first pattern was 2. Let's see if we can do it. Now our next change mean, Joni Mitchell wrote music like this, the Beatles. Modal interchange is actually hidden in a lot of your favorite music that you probably don't know that that's what the artist did to make this amazing resolution. You know, like the sound of that resolution, because it's a major chord. It's A flat major. And I'm borrowing that from E flat. There's so much hope because of the major chord, minor chord, you get like disheveled for a minute, and then you resolve again. So again, our tension resolve is another big thing. There's tension supposedly in the minor and diminished quadrants. So the moment I play this E diminished, and say I play F major now, it's like I brought back like you go to where the listener expected to land. Okay, this is what music theory is, right? And the chord itself, the color of the chord, the way it makes your ear feel, blue, red, green. Some people see color when they hear the chord. It's kind of like, this is where I'd say, for me, this is a very hopeful chord because it's major. And then I go to minor, which makes like a question. Am I sure? And then I resolve, which is like solid footing. Yeah, land there, right? Now, secretly, the sixth quadrant can also be considered a place of resolution, because that has the one chord running through it. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to deny that the sixth also can be this place we land. That's secret in jazz, right? That some of us know. But modal interchange, I hope this is making a lot of sense. Now, I'm going to pull another idea here where instead of playing E diminished, I'm going to play E flat major in its place, right? Which is going to be strange, right? Like, because normally we're going to think there's a lot of tension at this 7 point. And it's going to feel really cool because I'm going to try something kind of different, right? So let's see, like, if I went 6... right? And I thought D. That's so crazy, right? So I just switched. Instead of diminished, I played E flat major because that's the chord I would borrow for modal interchange, right? So here I am. It's a lot of hope like stacked together because there's like two major chords. I mean, that's not a bad one. Then what if I went to E? And then you just go back into the key. I could be like here, here, here. There are ways that modal interchange will allow you to play with a chord. And sorry, I didn't check if people are talking. Yeah, Depeche Mode, holy crap. Yeah, you said it. Depeche Mode does this too. C Live, thank you so much for chiming in. 14 minutes in. Thank you, everybody who's listening. Hopefully modal interchange is making you excited because it's like, oh my God, that's how this one song I listened to happens. I think Penny Royalty from Nirvana is the same. What is it? It's what is it? Well, that's somebody else's song, or is that theirs? I don't remember. But it's it's that. And I think other people have used this. He can't be the only one who's put E major and C major. It's so triumphant. Okay, so let's get back to business. Now, modal interchange is fun because the idea that we're breaking rules is like really cool, you know. And if I made like sure that we knew that was a major chord, so I did 3 flat major, and then the other one we made up was like what? It was 6 and 7. I treated like 1. I did like E flat major, and then I did 1, which was F. That was kind of like a double stack 1 chord, because that's considered 1 if we borrow that. And when that's 3, that's actually, what is it, the 4th quadrant of this one instead of the 3rd quadrant. We kind of that's called like, other people might call this substitute, because I'm substituting a chord within the thing, but substitute actually has to do with, I think, other ideas. Modal interchange is a little different. I can talk about substitution some other time. I don't have enough time sometimes when I want to cover one subject, because I really want to cover something so that you all get to understand it on, like, I would say like a little bit higher of a level. All right. So I just did an example. I'm not going to not do this again. So I just want to say we did this, right? Hey, 808, how is your morning? Good. You should like and subscribe. Psych. Sorry. Again, thanks for joining me. Today we're doing music theory. We're talking about, modal interchange and understanding chords. Okay, so, for a beginner producer, what size keyboard do I recommend? Good question. I like 3 octave. I know some better keyboardists don't, and I think for a beginner, 4 octave is a good rule, because you want to have a place where you can have a bass chord and like a upper chord, and you want to be able to go one direction and another direction and a little bit of room. So if you had 1 more octave, I would say it might feel better for a beginner to play, because you have a little more room to run. A professional pianist that's teaching you, and this isn't to be strange either, would recommend a 61 key. If your focus is synthesis and synthesizing, I have a switch that can pitch me up and down, but for a regular piano player and they're learning, they would want to, have more space. Let me get a drink. I'm going to sneeze again. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I would say 49 if you're a synth player, or it would be 61 if you're going to focus on piano, right? Okay, so let's go back one more time. Modal interchange, and I did learn this on a YouTube channel. I think it's Studio One's channel, so I really appreciate Studio One for existing and letting me learn. And then again, I'm sharing this with more people, because when I learn a concept, if I teach it, I like really understand it. Okay, so this time I'm going to try something a little more easy. I'm just going to pick C major. Here we go. So I kind of do write my bigger ones in, and then again, you guys are watching how I write music, how I'll write a song with somebody in the studio, or if I'm with a singer-songwriter. I will do this pretty much every single time, right? And so C major. And if we're talking about modal interchange, I got to pick another key. And this time I'm going to pick E major. Okay? Because there's a lot of sharps in that. So it would be C sharp, D sharp, yep, E, F, G sharp, A, B. Okay, and I did this on purpose because this is like a pretty heavy interchange, right? In this world, I'm just going to do this just so I have the ways in my head, right? Okay, so we're talking about modal interchange. I pick 2 keys because at times when I'm going to borrow a chord from another key, okay? And Making sure everybody's okay. Yeah, no problem. No problem, Mercy. Good to see everybody this morning, and thanks for everybody for tuning in. I was really sick for the last, 2 weeks, so that's why I was not streaming. I've been really in the mood to stream a lot and teach and give everybody some good information, because not only does it help me, I'm really hoping that I teach a group of people that feel successful and comfortable with their music. I've taught people that have gone on to do some great things, get signed with labels. I've taught things to friends who I thought were just making music in their house, and they're like famous now. I've been really lucky to be around the group of people that I've been around, synth makers that are just amazing. And so I needed a way when I moved back to the East Coast to share, and I figured this channel would be a great way for me to keep teaching, continue my mentorship, and really help people online. I've released sample packs. I have Ableton Live packs, and I have my own sample packs that are just waves of the OP field and of my Octatrack that it's like my stock sample pack that I use to make all my music. They are on Gumroad. It's like $3, $5, to $8. If you want to support the channel, you can always buy a sample pack. And then it's like I'm helping you in your studio with my samples from my studio. There's some Buchla samples, some 303 samples. There's some really cool stuff in there. So if you want some help from me in samples, I always recommend, you could go to Gumroad and download samples so you feel like I'm helping. If there's ever a sound or something I do during the stream that you have more questions on, always, send me a comment. You can always send me an email, outofthebag.org. There are a lot of records for sale on Out of the Bag Bandcamp. Those are friends of mine and me and a group of us that make music. So again, if there's a way you want to kind of reach out and say hi or support the channel, I have a lot of that stuff. And here we go. So let's go back to Modal Interchange. Yeah, someone in the UK asked me, how do I give you like $5? And I was like, well, let me give you guys something back too. So like there's a little bit of like, ways to hang out with me outside of the channel. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the way this works. So C major. Rugrats themes. Sorry. It's just laced in there. There's music everywhere, right? And I don't want to get a copyright strike. Sorry. All right. And now, if we want to do this and we want to play with modal interchange, we think about how we play a chord structure. So if I was going to play a 1, and then if I go to play 4, what if I secretly played it as... So I just borrowed F minor, and then I went back to F major. That might be a bad example, but I'm trying, right? So again, you're just playing. So 1, 4. The resolution when you do modal interchange is greater in my mind because the stretch, it's weird that it's like a further reach in your musical mind. It's like trying something that would have never been in the music, but then you decided that that's how this modal interchange is going to work. No pun, definitely pun intended. So I was like F sharp minor, F major, and that's just major 7 in the jazz world, and then I resolved a C, right? So I'm sorry, that looks like E major. So that's an F. All right. So that was the first riff I kind of played on. So it was like, you know, it's like weird. Yeah, that's like a thought. Another one I could substitute would be this strange thing. What is it? Yeah. So that's like D diminished, right? So if I ever played a 2 chord, 3, and then all of a sudden I do something dumb like this. So that was so quick, ready? 1, 3. Diminished. And remember, I'm just borrowing that from right here. You know, I kind of... Right, so let's do it again. So it was like C. Back to C again, you know, you just... That one's so... So modal interchange gives you these really interesting places, you know. What is this one? Sorry. Thrown in G sharp. You know, you can... It's always these interesting... It's weird. It's like you're playing with 2 keys, like kind of like as if they're at any moment in time. If you were about to play this chord, you could secretly play that, you know. So if I'm playing like 1, 6, 5, and all of a sudden I played... You know, just threw it in there because I can't, you know. That's where it's weird. Music doesn't have rules. It's until you make something sound correct because you play it so many times. And that's not an understatement. If something sounds really wrong to you, I would suggest keep playing it until it sounds right because your brain... I played this, what is it? That whole... So it's just... It's just the 2 majors over each other. It sounds so... You know, that's like modal interchange right there. So I'm playing E major. It's just so beautiful, you know? And when I started practicing key signatures, I didn't realize I was like doing modal interchange because I would just... Because I was just trying to hear where scales were going, you know? So I was taking for granted that I was doing this. And when I watched the Studio One channel, you know, talk about it, I was like, holy crap, I've been doing something cool for a while that... This is like, you know, a Berkeley level class. You know, this is something you learn in a higher, music theory class. So hopefully today was like a really good stretch for you to go somewhere different. If you want to take a screenshot, you could practice the modal interchange that I was doing. And the last one, let me grab that marker and it was like the E major 7, C major 7. That was like the last thing I just was doing. Like I literally was just playing the key of E. I was just resolving E major, the key, with C major, the key. That's all. Literally, that's modal interchange, right? So hopefully today was a glimpse of how you can play more like the Beatles, Depeche Mode. So many people do this. Stevie Wonder, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I mean, it's all over music, So I think challenge yourself. Jethro Tull, I'm sure they were doing this like crazy. Jethro Tull was probably doing this on like triple and quadruple levels because they were so badass. I mean, some of the stuff they did, that kind of blew my mind too. And I'm sure there's other jazz bands that play with this snarky puppy. I'm sure there's tons out there. But hopefully, again, today was a good glimpse on chord theory and how to break the barriers of just playing in the same key all the time and feeling bored and feeling like you write music like pop people that you don't like. This might put you out there with the higher level artists that write higher level theory-based music because you took the time to write out 2 keys and interpick chords between them. It's like we've done this in 30 minutes. So I think if you practice what we've talked about today and really work on it for like the next 4 months, it's something that's huge. It like when I solo now, I hear these, I totally hear different things. And it took me some time to like internalize what this is doing. And when I watch Studio One do it, and I watch that other channel present the way that they were talking about it, he makes it just clear as day. And they call it something else. I think he was calling it, I don't remember the wording. I'm gonna try to link the video. I hope everybody has a great Tuesday. I hope this has been super informative, and I hope you're getting inspired to create more music. I'm feeling a lot better, so I'm going to start streaming more. You're going to see more of me, and I'm going to pick different instruments to stream with. I know I was just streaming a lot with the OPXY because it came out. I'm super excited about it. Call me a fanboy, call me whatever. I collect a lot of modular. I collect a lot of electron. I don't know. I like music, So I would say if there's more on the channel you want to see, let me know. I was going to do some theory on the modular next, maybe some like simple modular theory. And I was going to work on more chords and how to write songs, because this is basically great songwriting advice, right? I wish somebody gave me this advice, a million years ago, and I was with the dinosaurs. I'm joking. Everybody have a good morning, and thanks for tuning in. And yeah, enjoy the day.